Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Hi, my name is Brooke, and on this channel I like to talk about my personal finances and give you some tips to help you to be better with your finances. So if that's something that you are interested in, please make sure to subscribe. I would love to have you over here. Now, I haven't put out a video in a little while, and that's just because life got crazy. We had a lot that we were doing this past month. We had Mother's Day, and we also went on our New York trip. That was so fun. We were able to go and see some friends from college. We also were able to go and be in the live studio audience for Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, which was so fun. We got in the standby line and we were like the last people in the standby line, but they took us in, and it's so cool because there's like a free thing that you can do while you're in the city if they're filming, and they only film on Saturdays. So it was such a perfect timing and it was so fun. We also got to go to a Broadway show and get autographs of the people who were in the show. That was so fun, and we had such a good time over the weekend. But we've just been so busy in the past couple of weeks, and I have honestly been feeling a little bit unmotivated to make videos because I just feel like I'm not 100% sure where I want my channel content to go. I really want to do more lifestyle content on here, not just personal finance content, because there's only so much I can talk about personal finance without feeling like a broken record. I can talk about goal setting, I can talk about budgeting and all that stuff, like, you know, till the cows come home. But like, I also have made lots of videos already on those topics, and you can watch them whenever you want. So I want to like figure out what I'm actually going to be doing with these videos to help make sure that you are getting the kind of content that you want, but also for me to create the kind of content that I want. So I think what I'm going to do is try and make another vlog. So I made a vlog a few months ago, and it was just like a weekend in my life, and I thought it was really fun. It was really fun to edit, and I just showed you like what I did. It was a very cozy weekend, and I didn't really do too much, but it was really fun to show you. So what I want to do is do maybe just a little bit of a longer form one for you all and go through this upcoming week, because I will actually be going on a work trip to Los Angeles. So I am going to take you along to that. We are going to a conference that's happening out there. So I'm really excited for that, and it's going to be a fun conference. So I think what I would like to do is just take you along for that and talk to you from my hotel room and show you around and just like give you a little bit more of the behind the scenes of how a work trip goes, maybe talk about some of the finances that go into work trips and things like that. So if that's something that's interesting to you, please let me know. I want to make this kind of content because I really enjoy watching vlog style content. I've been watching a lot of Allison McCarthy and Krista Jarvis. Those two are some of my favorite YouTubers right now. They're both smaller, but I really enjoy watching their content, and they're around my age, and I just feel like whenever I watch them, I'm like watching a friend. So I hope that if I make some vlogs for you all, that it will feel like that too, that you're watching a friend and you're seeing someone go throughout a normal life in their 20s, because I feel like a lot of the media that we see portrayed for people who are in their 20s and 30s is like, you've got to either be like the friends group where you're super successful and then the other half is super poor and still living in a huge rent controlled New York apartment, or you're seeing like the influencer lifestyle where they've got like a ton of money and they've got a ton of sponsorships and brand deals and everything going on like that. And it's just not very realistic to what a real life looks like when you are in this stage of life. And so I think that making these vlogs and watching other people make these kinds of vlogs helps me to feel like, you know, I'm just a normal person, and that's okay, because I enjoy watching that kind of content online, and I enjoy seeing people show their real life. So that's what I kind of want to do with this channel, like do a little bit more vlog style stuff, lifestyle stuff, but still talk about the finances of being in this age and how you can set yourself up for success in the future. But that's really where I want to go with my content. So hopefully you all enjoy this. This is going to be my normal monthly video that I will always anchor to every month, which is my monthly financial reset, because we are at the end of May. which means that June is coming right around the corner. So we are going to be making our budget. So please make sure that if you have not yet, you still have time to make your June budget. I am a zero-based budgeter, which means all the money that comes in is going to be assigned $1 and go out to savings, investing, debt, and expenses. So that's what we're gonna do in this video. We're gonna go over how May went, we're gonna see how June's gonna go, and we will go from there. All right, so let's jump right in to my budget. All right, we are in my May budget, so let's talk over my income. So this month, I actually got my raise, so this is reflective of my newer salary. However, there is some differences that's going to happen next month because this doesn't account for my contributions to my employer's ESPP program, which is where you can buy stock at a discount. If you want to know all about how you make money in the tech world, check out my video that talks about RSUs, ESPP. I will link that in the cards above and in the description below, but it's a great video just to help you understand that if you're looking to go into an industry that's white collar and you've never did that before, that's a way for you to understand how monetary compensation works. But that's what happened here. I didn't actually contribute because I actually pulled out of my ESPP for this period. And the reason why was because with the amount of money that I've been putting in for the past few months, I was only going to be able to buy like one share. And I felt like because of how much we are doing traveling in the next few months, like I needed that money on hand for those. So I decided to pull out, but I am re-enrolling into the next period. So I will be putting in the money into my ESPP in the next period. And my goal is that I'm not going to touch that as I get it for the next times so that I can actually start accruing, because every time I've been buying the shares and then immediately selling them, but I'm going to try and start to build up those shares and wait to sell them until they mature to a long-term capital gains rather than a short-term capital gain. So I'm going to try to do that for the next little bit and see how that goes. So this is reflective of having that extra money because I'm not putting into my ESPP and from my raise. So as you can see, I do have quite a bit of overage, which is really nice because like I said, we've got a lot of stuff that we've been putting into savings for the next few months. And we also have a lot of other, and this is a combination of getting the ESPP money back, selling some RSUs. So I finally got my last RSUs vested. So it was over a 4-year period and I got to my 4-year anniversary at my work. So I was able to get all of those finally. So I sold those. And we also got some money from a reimbursement from my other job. I got reimbursed for a trip that I went on in March. And so that was actually because I cash flowed all of those expenses from the March trip. I just had this as extra money that was coming in. So that's why that number is crazy high. So we did a lot with that and I will talk through all the stuff that we did through that. But that is how much we had left over, and I'm honestly like very impressed with this number. So let's go into our bills. So this month, our bills were very typical for what we have. We are very lucky that we have low fixed bills, and that helps us to save, invest, and pay off debt aggressively all at the same time. I know that not everybody is in this privileged position, but I'm really grateful for it, and for the time being that we have this available to us, I'm going to take advantage of it as much as possible and make sure that I'm putting as much money away into savings and investing right now because we're so young and we've got so much time for compound interest to work. So I'm really grateful that our bills are pretty low and we've been good with like all of our targets. So we are fixed billing for our electric, but our water is variable. But I always try to do at least $50 that I budget for. And usually it's actually less than that. Usually it's like $40 to $45. So this month it was pretty much on par. So I'm happy with that. It means we're not using too much water and stuff like that. If you ever see like your bills like go crazy high in like 1 month, if you're not on like a budget billing system, especially if it's like your water system, it may be because you have a leak. So that could be something that you could look into to see if you're having any issues with that. So in our groceries, this is not accurate because we are probably going to have to go grocery shopping one more time this month because there are 5 Saturdays in May, and we always do our grocery shopping on the weekends because we like to grocery shop together. And so because of that, we'll probably go over this. Now, this month we did have to buy some more pricey things. We had to get more protein powder, and I also needed more shampoo and stuff like that. So that does account for those things as well. We just put all that together because I know some people like to split that out. For me, we buy it at the grocery store, and so it just makes more sense to keep it all together, and then I don't have to like go through receipts and like make sure that all of my categories are correct. I used to do that, but I feel like it's just easier to have one lump sum category. So we're going to go over this slightly, but we only have one more grocery run. And since I will be out next week, we'll probably be buying a little bit less than we usually do because it'll just be my husband here eating it. For gas and transportation, we were right on par. We were at 180 and I budgeted 185. And so that's really nice. I'm really happy with that. For giving, I just blocked this out for our privacy. We are Christians and we believe in giving to our local church as well as to different community nonprofits and other things like that. So we do that, and this month I was able to give more than I usually do because of all that extra income. I still like to set aside a percentage of extra income to giving. Therapy, so we've had some interesting stuff going on with therapy with our co-pays and things like that. So I'm still kind of confused about where all of that's going. So I'm trying to work that out. So I am actually going to be reflecting a lower amount for therapy going forward until we kind of figure that out, because I'm just not 100% sure like what's going on with it. But this $18 is for my husband's and my therapy is covered under my work. Gyms and subs, this is including our gym memberships. My husband does martial arts. It includes, Netflix and the like and all that stuff. So that's just is what it is. I think that's pretty reasonable for how much we do. Our spending, so we spent pretty much on par. My husband spent just a tiny bit more. And that was fine because like I said, we went out to New York and I bought some really cute stuff. We went to the Line store. So I'm a big BTS fan and they have this really cute characters from their thing called BT21, and they have like their flagship store in New York. So we were in Times Square and it's right there. So we went there and I got like a cute little keychain of Cookie, which Cookie is a cute little pink rabbit. And I also got a new laptop sleeve because I hadn't got a laptop sleeve for this new computer, the new Mac that I bought back in earlier this year in February or March. And so when I saw it, I thought it was so cute. It's for Monk. I can actually show you it. It's so cute, but it's purple, which is my favorite color. And it's like this pretty little purple color. And then got a little cute little Mong thing. And you can actually change this out. There's like 2 different ones and it's Velcro. So you can like change it out and you can have like 2 different little Mong decals. So I really like it. It's going to keep my laptop safe. So cute. Not mad about that purchase. And in our guilt-free spending, we were actually under 2, which I thought we would like be going over. But one of the things that I did do for our New York trip is a lot of that money came out of our sinking fund. We did pretty much deplete that, but we did all of the stuff that we wanted to do in the city. Some of the spending that we did in New York, I did put under this guilt-free spending, but this also includes, going out to eat here at home. So under by $7, really good. And it helps to make up for the overage there. In miscellaneous, we were also right on target. This was just paying for like some miscellaneous parking and other things like that. So not too crazy there. And then in this vacations one, so I talked about this in my previous videos, but we are going to the beach next month with my husband's family. And so this is our portion of the rental. And so that is just where I put that there. And for our savings, I've told you this before, we did change around our savings things. So we are trying to get to a 6-month emergency fund, which is why we have upped how much we put into this emergency fund. So we're getting there. Hopefully we will get there by the end of October, and then we can go back to putting more to debt. And then for our gift fund, we put in our normal one, but we also took out some money for Mother's Day gifts, my husband's father's birthday, and then my husband's birthday is in June. So I went ahead and bought his gifts as well. So we are spending from it a little bit, but we still have a good amount in there. Our car maintenance, we put in our normal 180. We also did take out some money here because we had to get my oil changed for my car. So that included paying for the oil change and getting all of the supplies. So we go to this garage where we bring them the stuff and then they just do it for us. And it's a little bit cheaper if we do it that way. So we only pay about $40 to get them to change it and we buy the stuff. And this month, my dad actually had the oil filter that I needed. So we didn't have to buy the oil filter this time, which saved us a little bit of money. And we were able to get that changed up. And then in our health and wellness, I did up this from what we had been doing because I did take from it last month. And this month I also had to take from it just to pay for my copay, but it wasn't that bad. And then for vacations, $300. Again, this is on top of like the vacation spending that we did. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I always like to put money into our vacation sinking fund. So if we don't have enough money set aside for like a specific vacation, like I have some buckets now for our Mexico trip and our New Orleans trip that we're going on later this year. And so this is just for general stuff. So if we don't have enough money in those specific buckets, I can always pull from this vacation fund itself. But I like to have it because traveling to us is a very important part of our lifestyle. And I just want to make sure that we always have enough money so that we don't have to feel like we are restricting ourselves when it comes to that. Our annual sub fee is $130. This is now going to include our pest control, so that's why it's up a little bit. Our house fund is at $1,000. This is going to be one of the last few times you're going to see it at this number because starting in July, I am no longer going to have my secondary income. So we won't be able to be put this much money to our house fund and our emergency fund at the same time. I've been really thankful that we've been able to do that, but we're going to have to slow down on putting that much money into our house fund. But that's okay. I feel like it's at a pretty good number right now. And we aren't really moving until the next 2 to 3 years. So I think that this is going to be okay for right now. For our fund, this is where I put in a lot of that extra income that I got, especially from that reimbursement that I got from my March trip. And what we're going to do with it is we are going to go to an anime convention in July, which is in Raleigh. So it's pretty close to us, only about 30-minute drive. So we'll also include, we're buying some costumes because we are going to cosplay as some anime characters from this anime that we really love and we watched it together. It's called Frieren Beyond Journey's End, and it is such a cute anime. So if you're not into anime, I think you should try and give it a watch. I think it's on Netflix, so it's pretty easy to watch and it's available to most people. You don't have to have like a Crunchyroll subscription or anything like that, but we are going to go as Fern and Stark, which are two of the main secondary characters. And they're so cute, they're so fun, and I'm just excited for that. And so I bought my dress for my costume thrifted, and then I also am getting just a cloak. So it's a pretty basic outfit, and I am going to wear some of my other stuff that I already own, like my Doc Martens and things like that. So we're not going to be going too crazy with that, but we also set aside some spending money for that because whenever you go to anime conventions, there's tons of vendors and you always want to buy stuff. We didn't set aside anything for taxes because we paid our taxes in April, so we're good there. Mexico, this is just our interest that we are accruing in our high yield savings account. If you don't have a high yield savings account, definitely recommend to check out my link in the description for Ally Savings. Ally is a great bank. It is an online FDIC insured bank, which means that your money is safe. The government is making sure that your money is safe, and it gives you so much bang for your buck because all you're doing is putting your money in there like you normally would when you're saving, but you're getting a much better interest rate than a traditional brick and mortar bank, which is giving you probably like 0.10%, whereas Ally right now I think is giving you like 3.5 to 3.6%. We just have been putting all of our interest now into our Mexico bucket, and that's really great to see that we can like go on vacation and just use all of this interest that we're earning from our high yield savings account. In my spending, we added a little bit extra to it, and that's just because of some of the extra money that I made. I wanted to put aside because I need to get a haircut in the future, and they're pretty expensive, and also for my cloak and costume like that, I put aside some money for that. For our new tech fund, we're just slowly growing this up, so $50. Like I said, we are going to New Orleans in October. It is for my husband's alumni reunion for his school. And so because of that, I already know how much we're going to have to pay for the hotel. and I'm looking on the flights and I'm trying to like figure out how to get cheap flights. There are no flights that I can buy with points that are like really worth it. So I'm actually going to be flying this budget airline called Breeze Airways, and it's really nice actually because from where we are in RDU, they have direct flights to New Orleans, and any other place that I look does not have direct flights. So I'm excited that at least there'll be a direct flight. It is one of those where you have to like upgrade to like buy your seat and add an extra bag and stuff like that. So it's kind of annoying in that sense, but it's still like fairly cheap compared to like any other thing, which I saw for like 2 tickets to New Orleans was like over $1,000, like round trip. That's insane to me, like over $1,000 just to go to New Orleans. Like I went to New Orleans in 2019 by myself, and round trip, my ticket was only $300. So like over $1,000 for 2 round trip tickets is crazy. For our investing, we are investing in our Roth IRAs, and we are investing up to the full thing that you can do in 2025, which is $7,000 per Roth IRA. So we are doing that. We are under the limit for Roth IRAs. So that is one thing that you have to check if you are doing Roth IRAs, making sure that you are under the income limit, but we are still under that. So that's why I'm still putting that in. And finally, we are putting a little bit extra into our brokerage account and just trying to build that up. And that money can be for early retirement. That money could potentially be to help us with our next house payment, whatever. But right now we're just doing that and getting that money up. In our debt, this is where we did change. We are doing a little bit less. We are putting just the minimum plus interest for my husband's 3 student loans that we are paying off. These are his last student loans. So those are just reflected there. And then for my car loan, we were able to set aside extra money because of how much money I had gotten over from my checks that I had not accounted for. So we put $200 extra to it, which I'm so excited for. It means we are under the $5,000 mark for my car note, which is so great. I think we can pay off my car. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm making banana bread because I have my book club tomorrow, and so that was my banana bread timer going off. It smells delicious. I had some bananas that are about to go bad, so I just went ahead and made banana bread. I will insert a clip of me putting it into the oven. Sorry that the cropping is not good, but you know, I'm trying. I'm gonna try better with these videos. But anyway, for my car, we set aside $200 extra, so we're under the $5,000 mark. We're getting to the finish line. I'm so excited. And so if we look at my little pie chart here of the cash flow summary, our savings were at 37%. I want to change this because this is not long-term savings, and this is not just the long-term savings, which I consider true savings, and then our sinking funds. I don't consider sinking funds to be the same as long-term savings. So that's why the pie chart is a little bit crazy. I'm going to try and like change it in the future so that it will reflect the difference between the sinking funds and the savings. But right now this is what it's showing, and I'm going to fix it for future videos. And then our expenses were 27%. Our bills were only 9.3%. We did spend a good amount from our sinking funds, 6.5%. Only 6% went to debt. Again, that's because we're trying to save more money in our emergency fund for right now. And our investments were at 13.6%. So overall, really great. And now let's go into my June budget. All right, so here on my June budget, our income is going to be pretty much the same. I am going to have a little bit less money because I am putting into my ESPP this time. So this is reflective of that. And so with my raise and putting in 1% extra to my 401k, we are going to be bringing in $100 net, about something like that. So I'm excited for that. You know, every little bit helps. For our bills, everything's pretty much the same. Our water's a little bit higher at $44. That's fine. You know, it fluctuates month to month depending on how much water we use, but everything else is the same pretty much. For expenses, our grocery budget is going to stay the same. We are going on vacation at the end of the month, so we'll also probably be buying groceries there because we'll have our Airbnb with my family. So we'll be buying food to make at the house. For gas and transportation, I put it up from $185 to $200 because we'll need to buy gas to drive to the place that we're going. It's about a 2-hour drive, I want to say, to get to the beach. So not too crazy. So we're just going to add a little bit extra so that we can pay for gas there and back. Therapy, like I said, I'm still confused like where the money is going with therapy. I'm very confused about how that's doing with the copay and everything. So I just lowered that to 105 because I think that will probably be close to what it is. Gyms and subs, so this is going up to 170 because I get a $300 reimbursement for any health related things like paying for gym memberships and that kind of stuff each year. And I've reached that cap pretty much. So I'm going to have to start paying for my Hotwork subscription, which is about $49 a month. So this includes that. For our spinning, we're going to keep that the same. For our guilt-free spinning, we're bringing it down just a little bit. And I think that's fine. Like I said, we're just going to the beach. We're going to just have like a fun, chill vacation with family. So I'm not too concerned about like spending a crazy amount of money on that vacation. We'll just mainly be hanging out at the beach, hanging out at the house, playing games, that kind of stuff. And miscellaneous, I like to just keep this at $20. Our emergency fund, we are still going to be putting in the $15.35. Gift fund, $145. Car maintenance, $180. Health and wellness, $300. Vacations, $300. Annual sub fees, $130. House fund, $1,000. And fun fund, we are putting in $100 to our fun fund to start building that back up, even though we did put in quite a bit last month. A lot of that money, like I said, is going to our GalaxyCon stuff, so I already know where that money's going. So this is just for any other fun stuff that we want to do over the summer. And then lastly, we're putting in $100 to our new tech fund because I know my husband wants to eventually upgrade his graphics card in his desktop computer. So we'll need to save up money for that so he can buy a new graphics card. For our investments, we're going to keep it simple and have it all be the same. And for our debt, we are going to just be paying the minimum on my car loan. So that is just going to be what it is. If we have any extra money, hopefully we'll be able to put some aside more to my car loan, but we will see. So I'm just, paying it off, 6%, not too bad. And if we get any extra money, any kind of way I want to add more extra money, like I said, like I showed in May, I did put $200 extra to it. So I am trying to put in a little bit extra money every time and hopefully get that paid off. And I know that once we get to our 6-month emergency fund, then we will really be putting all of our money to paying off the 2 debts that we want to pay off by the end of this year, which is student loan number 2 and my car loan, and I think we'll be able to do that. So that's all I've got for this video. I know it was kind of scattered, I know it was all over the place, but I really hope that this was helpful to you to understand more about my budget and how we make our money work for us. And I really hope that you all enjoyed it. Please make sure to check out all the videos in the description below because I have made so many videos on this channel about personal finance and I hope they're helpful to you. I really appreciate everybody's support and I again apologize for being kind of slow on getting videos up, but I want to start doing some vlogging and trying that out. So I hope you all will join me on this adventure as we try out some new content formats, and I will see you all in another video. I hope you all have an amazing day. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye, y'all.